topic that we've not been able to talk about is how I cover City Hall. And that one, it's more like the sort of relationships I have with the commissioners and the mayor, and then moving away from sort of being a friend in the bike community to being a reporter saying, hey, I don't, here's a really hard question about decisions you're making, and been a real shift in the last couple of years where people at the city are no longer friendly to me, and certainly people in City Hall are much different around me than they used to be. And so that's been a really challenging thing. It's not as simple as saying, oh, well, great, now I'm just a regular reporter to them, because all the baggage is still there, and they don't treat me the same as they treat other reporters.
The first couple of years, what was the relationship? Why was it so?
It was more like, I was this great megaphone to, just blast all their press releases about bicycling and say how great they are with bicycling projects, and they told me this, and this is awesome, right? Hey, rah rah, biking is great, and our city is awesome. And then it became slowly, after all these different experiences, and just me sort of learning and getting more confident and stuff, and then it became, I don't do that anymore. I don't just write what they say, and if anything, I'm going to have my own questions.
You're not just their press release guy.
Yeah, and so that's been a real education for me, but also for them, and they haven't reacted well to that. And they've sort of gotten defensive and I think a little bit upset that they can't rely on BikePortland to kind of bring the message to the masses and sort of bring them their constituency wrapped up in a bow, I was like a member of the team. I was like, react to that.
You can't be on that team.
Right, and that's the thing. So I stopped being social with them, which is a bit, it's like I have a lot of friends in the Portland building and at City Hall and stuff, and it's like I just don't even like to go to the parties with them anymore because it's so awkward. It's
very awkward.
It's like, but it's too bad. I guess part of me still thinks that, man, wouldn't that have been nice to just keep all that going? Yeah. Have the friendships, have all that team, and still do good reporting that people think is valuable. And so then it's like, but that's how it is now, and it's actually made it harder to do the reporting because they don't give me stuff like they used to.
Yeah. That social thing is a big part of it. Any political reporters run into that, certainly. People who I covered legislature years ago, and you see these people day in and day out, and you are friendly with them, and you like some of them, and you admire some of them. Others you think aren't so sharp, and so on. But I'll say newspaper reporters, I'm sure the TV people and OBB too, they feel a lot of the same thing, but the people they're dealing with know they can't push too far on it. They know about that line that divides them. Whereas with you, they saw things differently. Yeah. So now they're sort of have hurt feelings.
They blame me on creating this sort of chasm between the public, who's sort of disenchanted with how bicycling is going. A lot of people, if you read the site, it's not all just we love Portland, the biking's great here. It's we have this issue and this issue and this issue.
Yeah.
I have to be careful not to let my personal opinions of what's going on in the city around biking cloud my sort of editorial judgment on how I cover it, because then it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy that my negativity, which is mine, based on the way I see things, is that really based on what's really happening, or is that based on my own? So
I see what you're saying.
It's a problem being the publisher, the editor, the daily beat writer. Yeah. And more I detach myself from that.
You're being very honest in your self-examination there. About you really want to know. Is it just me? Is it really bad?
Yeah.
Or am I making things unnecessarily worse?
Right.
Yeah, you're being very honest. Those are all good journalistic attitudes to have.
That's part of that neat judgment thing that I think is really where a lot of value could be for the work that I do, is doing the best parts of the newspaper reporting, and which is kind of why I want to be in the partnership, is saying, well, what if there's a way to take someone who's just learned by doing blogging, taking the best from both of those, I think can really, is really what can make some BikePortland really, valuable and work and be different.